So this is just a reminder that while having an education is important, it is equally important for us to understand the difference between somebody who is book smart and somebody who is street smart, or a combination of both. And there's a third, being emotionally intelligent. But let me get started. So we as a society, we have normalized that somebody who has an education from prestigious schools such as Ivy League schools, Harvard, Stanford, Yale, UCLA, UC Berkeley, IIT, they are wiser. They make better decisions. And they may have gone there for their bachelor's, master's, PhDs, etc. Or they may have gone there for their certifications. But because they've gone to these prestigious schools, they're a lot smarter, more intellectual. Let me remind you what these schools do. These schools and courses, they teach us information to memorize. So they're indoctrinating us to follow certain rules, regulations, and principles. And then we're tested by our regurgitation skills of how well you have memorized what you were presented. So essentially, they're programming you to be book smart. You see things as is, you store it in your brain, and you're tested on how you can pull it up. Great. Now, what's the difference between somebody who is book smart versus street smart? Somebody who is street smart, they're able to take that information that was presented to them and understand if there was misinformation presented, if it was a fact, if it's the truth, or if there's more that they're not aware of and that they need to do more homework. So they're analytical. They're thinking for themselves. They think outside of the box. They're also not afraid to question authority. They're often the black sheep of the family. They're not afraid to look like a fool, because sometimes the fools are the first ones to actually speak the truth. They're also able to pick up on vibes and understand people's intentions based on their analysis and their intuition and their gut instincts. They're spiritual, even though they're not going to tell you they're spiritual, because they understand that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and that the truth is often not told to you. It is actually a frequency that you feel it upon. So that's street smart. Also, emotional intelligence plays a factor, because you're able to understand people, their mindset, what they can discern, if they can think for themselves, if they're somebody who is just going to follow the herd because it's easier, or somebody who is able to take a stand because they're comfortable doing that. Some people like change, some people don't like change. Can they handle that information? So somebody who is book smart, street smart, and has high emotional intelligence, those are people who cannot be manipulated or brainwashed. 10 to 15% of humanity these last few years were not brainwashed. Can you guess what categories they had? What skills they had? Book smart, street smart, and high emotional intelligence. They knew when they were told to stay home, mask up, wait for the free shots, for the free this, was all just follow the experts. It's just a bunch of lies. And some people like me were trying to tell others, hello, there's a problem here, you know? But of course, yeah, we were looked upon as crazy conspiracy theorists. Again, crazy is often being right before others. The truth always comes out. As somebody who has stood her ground since she was a kid, I know I trigger people when I say the truth, no matter how I state it. So over the course of time, I've learned to just be quiet, observe, and let people show me their true colors. And if I want, I'll say something. If I don't, I won't. It is what it is. But it is important as we raise our future generations that we teach them the skills that many of us weren't taught. Many of us learn from experience. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy to navigate in the real world because I was often shunned to not say the truth as a kid. But that is basically what I do for work. So you need to say the truth because it will teach you the power of being authentic to yourself. It will guide you to your purpose. And your purpose is not an end goal. It is you living authentic to yourself and being self-motivated, self-energetic, self-confident. All of that comes when you're in your light, when you are accepting all parts of yourself. No one's perfect, but it is important for us to understand that nobody is above anybody else. Again, going to the education part. If somebody seems to think that because they went to UC Berkeley and they're smarter than somebody who went to UC Irvine, who took this and who didn't? We got to remember, nobody is above anybody else. And we're constantly learning. That is the game of life.